Hi to the host students, Mr. Kaczynski with you, about to go through the solutions to 2.2 practice your skills exercises. It's been a while since I made one of these because I didn't have them for chapter 2, but I'm going to try and bang one out here real quick for you. The proportion 320 over 235 equals G over 100 represents the question 320 is what percent of 235? Okay, write each proportion as a percent question. All right, here we go. So let's go 24 is, let's start there. 24 is on the top, that's my is. 24 is, and then the 32 is above the 100, so that's my percent. 32% of, and my unknown is down here, so of what number? That's my question. Let's label that A. Let's make it a little bigger here. Make it a different color and make it a little bit bigger. Can I make it bigger? There we go. 16. I think that'll work. All right. Let's keep going here. What about B? All right, we've got, so we're looking for the is here, part of 450. Okay, so how about what is 48% of, oops, wrong, percent of 450? So 450 is the total. We're trying to figure out what 48% of that is. C, we're missing the percent, the piece above 100. We're given the part and the whole thing. So how about we start with the 98? 98 is what percent of 117? There might be other ways to write this, but those kind of get the point across okay. Condense this a little bit. All right, use this proportion to answer the following questions. What percent of 120 is 30? So here's my 120. Here's my 30. So 30 is 25% of 120. So that top piece up there is the percent, the part over 100. What number is 25% out of 120? So 25% of 120, there is the 30, so is 30. 30 is 25% of 120. 25% of what number is 30? 120. So 25% out of 120, that's the answer, is 30. You can write the question, what number is 15% of 120, as this proportion. Okay, what number is 15% of 120? Write each question as a proportion. All right, that's all we got to do is just write each question as a proportion. Okay, let's go. A, 125%. All right, as soon as I see that percent, I know I'm doing that over 100. Of what number? It says of what number? I'm going to put my X on the bottom. The bottom is the of, is 80. Okay, so 125% of what number is 80? B, what number is, okay, you set it up like this. We put the 100 here. What number is, that's my is, 0.25%, so 0.25% of 46. 46 goes on the bottom there. What percent of 470? Okay, what percent, so I don't know the percent, of 470, the of goes on bottom, is 72. There we go. I haven't even had to solve one yet. Here we go. Number 4. Quentin knows that 17% of the 1,582 students in the high school are 12th grade. He argues that 10% of 1,600 is 160. Yeah, that's true. Just divide 1,600 by 10, you get 160. So 5% would be 80. Okay, that makes sense because half of 10% is 5%. Half of 160 is 80. And 20% would be 320. That makes sense because if you double 10%, you get 20%. So double the 160, you get 320. Use these facts to estimate the number of 12th graders. Well, how about this? Let's go 15. How about let's go like this. 10% plus 5% equals 15%, right? And that's pretty close to this 17% right here. So it's probably just going to be a little bit more than that. We got 10% is 160. And we know that 5% is 80. So that's 240. So maybe 250 students, just add a little bit. Yeah, like 1% is 16. So actually, I could add like 32 more onto it. Maybe I should. Whatever. Let's go 250 students. 250 12th graders. Not my best handwriting. I'll do better. Calculate the actual number of 12th graders by how many students did your estimate miss. Okay, so B, 17%. I could have done this, but 17% of 100. Okay, 17%. And we know there's 1,582 total students. That's 100% of the students. There we go. I'm going to multiply both sides by 1,582 to get this to cancel out. So over here, I'll multiply by 1,582. What does that give me? Using my calculator. 1,582 times 17 divided by 100. That's what the left side of that equation says. 268.94. So x equals about, let's go to the squiggly here, about 269 students or 12th graders. So only 19 off. From my original prediction. Write and solve a proportion for each situation. Let's change colors up here. A biologist tagged 250 fish, then she collected another sample of 75 fish, of which 5 were tagged. How many fish would she estimate are in the lake? All right, so we got 250 tagged fish. I don't know how many total fish are in the lake. When she did a sample of 75, she caught 75 fish and 5 were tagged. All right, so here's what I'm going to do on this. I'm going to flip this over so we can use the method we learned. T over 250 equals 75 over 5. Yes, there are other ways. I'm just trying to use the method we learned. I'm going to multiply both sides by 250 to get this to cancel out. And that'll give me the total number of fish, or an estimate anyway. Let's go. So let's go 75 times 200 divided by 5. That gives me 3,000 fish. That's a nice round number, isn't it? All right, one last question here tonight. A biologist estimated there were 5,500 fish in the lake, in which 250 had been tagged. A ranger collected a sample in which there were 15 tagged fish. Approximately how many fish were in the sample the ranger collected? Okay, 250 fish have been tagged. So 250 fish have been tagged out of, they think 5,500 fish in the lake. In the sample, there were 15 tagged. We are just being asked approximately how many fish were in the sample. So tagged to total, tagged to total, tagged to total, tagged to total. This should do the trick. Let's flip this, invert it. 5,500 over 250 equals x over 15. Multiply both sides by 15. punch this into the calculator and we'll have our answer. So specifically 15 times 5,500 divided by 250, 330 fish in the sample. That makes sense. 15, let's check our answers. 15 out of 330 fish is about 4.5%, and 250 fish tagged out of 5,500 in the lake is 4.5%. Over here on this one, let's do it again. Let's go 250 out of 3,000 fish were tagged, and in the sample, 5 fish out of 75 were tagged. What happened? Those don't match. What did I do wrong? Let's check my math. 75 times 250 divided by 5. 3750. I typed something wrong. Oh, I only did times 200 instead of times 250. We got it. 3750 though. Good thing I checked my math. Yay me. 3,750 fish. Hopefully you watched all the way to the end and you're not emailing me right now or messaging me to tell me that I messed up. All right, there we go. Have a great night, everybody.